Locutors of Trek.
On screen.
Hello and welcome to Locutors of Trek Villain Symposium Part 2. Because we bit off more than we could chew last time. So here we are, same wonderful panel. My low cousin of Trek to my left, right, depending on if you're me or you.
Yes.
How's it going, Dave?
Good.
One man's villain is another man's hero.
Yes. And we're here to talk about all the villains.
We are. And I'm Davan, I suppose I should say that. But you can read, most of you. I mean, most Star Trek fans can read. I'd say a good high 90th percentile. You know.
Yeah.
And we also have our Bajoran worker, Ashley Millard.
Hello.
And from Starfleet Leadership Academy, Jeff Akin. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing good. Thanks for having me back.
Captain.
No worries, I even have your logos.
Oh, look at that!
Look at that stuff.
Starfleet Leadership Academy.
Stuff.
Oh,
Looking
that's
good.
nice.
Cool logo. Yeah, it is. What's this one?
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other podcast. I guessed it on there a little while ago.
Ah,
I don't know why you got that. It's weird.
Because you sent it to me.
Did I? Oh. Like sharing the wealth.
I thought
right?
you wanted it because you sent it to me.
Oh, good buddies
If it's
over
not
at Beyond
you,
Trek. Yeah,
I'll
they're
delete
cool
that right
guys.
now.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, but I deleted it. All right. Well, let's fire up the chart, Dave.
Okay, let's bring it in. We have 63 villains to get through, people. So, lots of time.
So let's do this more in the style of the Captain's Convention. We kind of got scatterbrained last time, so Dave and I, same time, we'll just go back and forth picking ones, but then we'll throw it to either Ashley or Jeff or the other host, and let them kind of pick the initial spot, and then we'll debate.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Davin, you're up
That's
first.
how we do it here. All right. First, Walsh. Leo Walsh.
Who's Leo? Who?
Did that... Every time I try that reference, it always goes over everyone's head. All right. Harcourt Fenton Mudd.
Okay, Harry Mudd. Okay.
You guys don't remember that? The first Harry Mudd episode, he's going by Walsh. Leo Walsh, he keeps saying.
I forgot that. I'm sorry. I forgot. Yeah, he had a
That's one of
pseudonym.
the funniest gags. I love that one. It's like, hey there, Mudd. He's like, Walsh. Leo Walsh. They're like, but we know you're Harry Mudd. It's like, but I'm Walsh. Anyway, it's pretty funny. All right.
Harry Mudd.
I'm going to throw this one to our guest, Jeff. Where should we put Harry Mudd?
I'm going to list Harry Mudd, kick him off at a B-level villain.
A
And that's
B-level
taking into account
villain.
his newer appearances by Rainn Wilson as well. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
I feel like first off, I mean, he was pretty sickening, gross guy, but he was hilarious and awesome at the same time.
He had a charm.
Then Rainn Wilson brought the edge, right? Like took him to that next level.
It kind of feels like two different characters.
Kind of does.
But-
yeah.
Harry Mudd.
It's just hard to see how the guy that Rainn Wilson plays mellows in his old age.
It's a very different. That character, especially that episode in season 1 of Discovery where Rainn Wilson is playing Mudd and he's like got Lorca in the time loop, and he's
So he
killing him
murders
over and
him?
over again
Yeah.
and whatever. He's getting his revenge on him. But then
very
we find out he's
hardcore.
mirror Lorca, and so I guess it's supposed to make it better. But I don't know. There is a lot to unpack there with Harry Mudd. He's kind of not a villain as much as a lovable rogue, I think, is how he was always meant to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
He's a slaver and a pimp. Like
well, you got me there. He's
like old guy, the old one from TOS. I would put in B for sure. Rainn Wilson, I'm not as high on his performance, but whatever.
yeah. Well, he's one he's one of these characters that we've had two actors give two different takes on him. I would almost say he's a C-level villain. I would even drop him down. I don't even know if he did.
I'm with you on that, Dave. I'm with you on that. There's not a lot of threat there. I mean, unless you're Lorca and he's murdering you a million times, I guess. But,
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any grand schemes. He's a... Yeah. What do you think, Ashley?
I agree with C. I feel like he's just kind of a thorn in the side.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
Okay.
consensus. All right. So,
All right.
moving on from
Good
Harry
one.
Mudd. How do you guys feel about Landrew?
How do you feel about Landrew?
Landrew, the smart computer man, on the planet Beta.
That's a good episode. I like that one.
Festival.
Yeah. Look at Landrew. Like, he's no Agamus, I'll tell you that.
So few are. So few.
It's true. Who are you throwing it to, Dave?
Ashley, Landrew was outsmarted by Kirk, one of his many attempts to outsmart a computer, and by just talking it to death, and he did. So, can we put Landrew on the S tier, or is he much further down from that?
I was thinking more like F tier.
Yeah, I put Landrew at like D.
D tier?
Like, if someone can talk you into exploding, you're like, come on. You've got some issues and some defects.
Yeah. I think Landrew's maybe down. Is he as bad as Toral and Ronan?
I like
He might
Toral
be.
and... Yeah,
He might
I
be?
like those two better than him, actually.
He might. Yeah, he might
do you
be
think,
an F
Jeff?
tier.
Well, because I think too, he can't be that bad. The Badens went back to him.
True. They did go back to him, so he's D level maybe, guys. Here, you can come up. Just barely.
How would
He's
you rate his leadership techniques?
It's fantastic. I mean, clearly,
Yeah. Don't be dissing Landrew.
there's no way that people will ever reelect you into a despotic rule if you're a terrible leader. I mean, that would never happen.
Yeah, he did a little
Yeah.
better. Okay, like I feel like he had thousands of years, maybe, or hundreds of years of having this cult on the planet Beta, whatever. So
I think that was a little wink and a nod from the American perspective there.
A little bit.
I wonder how many indictments Landrew had.
Yeah,
They're kind of irrelevant anyway, aren't they?
yeah, it's just
Um,
not even real.
all right, moving on. Let's
okay.
go.
Who's your next one, Davan?
We did Bach already, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, here's a good one. Armus.
The
Now
Skin of
now
Evil.
this. Oh, I'm gonna throw this one just because of the sound he made. Jeff.
Bro, Armus is a hero.
A hero.
Here it is. Hot take.
Okay, this is gonna be good.
Killing Tasha Yaroff was a mercy kill.
It was. It was.
Yeah, I even when it happened back in what was that 87, I was like 10 years old and I watched it happen and I'm like, yeah, I'm good with this.
Well, he
That
was also
worked.
really mean to Deanna Troy.
Yeah.
And he was really malevolent. And then they left, and he was like, "No!" He was all like Darth Vader before Darth Vader.
Right.
So I think Armus is kind of a scary monster, kind of a villain. I think he's at least a C. I think he's at least a C.
I'm thinking maybe even an A.
Really? I was gonna
Yeah.
gonna start him at like a B, but I can see an A. I mean, they had to
Oh, that's
quarantine
kind of
the whole
meeting in the
planet.
middle between my A and Dave's C.
Maybe a
there.
B. I don't know. A B. He could be A.
Like Tasha went through that whole war and everything. Like she was a warrior, and he killed her.
Yeah, he
And
just- boom.
also, like it was shocking because you don't expect a main character to die in the first season, and not even the final episode of the first season.
And it's so random. It's not even like
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
dramatic,
Like they say.
like hero death. It's like this meaningless, random kind of moment in the whole thing.
Mhm.
But it set up her real hero's death in yesterday's Enterprise.
Exactly.
There was that whole thing in Lower Decks where they were making fun of Armus. They're like, "Hey, we can."
and they were
you know,
teasing him.
they were tormenting
Yeah.
him. Yes,
Yeah.
and he was not happy about it. So
So mean.
Armus as an A level, I don't know. Does that feel right for everybody, or
I think
is that?
B.
I feel better with a B.
I'm
I feel
good
better.
with B.
Yeah, he's B level.
All right.
Okay.
He's with Peanut Hamper. That makes sense.
All right. I have
He's
a.
higher than he's higher than Peanut Hamper.
He's higher.
You think?
Peanut Hamper
Like, he would
is
be before
he's on the same
Peanut
level as
Hamper.
well. He can go ahead of her in the order.
Yeah,
here. Like
he's ahead of Peanut
Dave's
Hamper.
secondary
secondary
Storage container
rankings.
ever gets sentience, Worf better
Yeah.
watch out. Good
All right.
point,
True.
Norman Buckwald.
Whose pick is it now, Devin?
You. I picked Armis.
Okay. Well, I have a provocative one for the panel to consider here. Locutus of Borg.
Oh, Dave, controversial edition.
Controversial edition
I didn't know
here.
how I felt about it.
Because is he just a victim or is he a true villain? But I
To
think
me,
he
he's
may
a
be one of the great villains of Star Trek. Locutus of Borg.
My vote may be to strike him from the list.
Ashley, where do you
Because to me,
stand?
he's a victim, and whatever you can say that they used Picard's knowledge against him, but that's the Borg using it. His knowledge. It's not Picard choosing to do.
But he has a
that.
name.
No
He's
point is
he's a
Picard
Borg
will-
with a name.
He wasn't strong enough. But that doesn't make him a villain.
I think just like him on the screen, that finale of Best of Both Worlds Part 1, where he's like, number one. He calls him number one, right? And like it's kind of like this villainous kind of effect. And then he's on the Enterprise. He's like, talking to Worf. He's like, Klingon, you will be one with the Borg. And he's like, your species, I like my species the way it is. So there's kind of some villainous moments with Locutus. He's kind of a distinct character from Picard. And I think maybe a villain in his own right.
Not buying it.
Curious
Yeah.
what you think,
Ashley, Jeff.
I don't think he's a villain. I think he's a tool. He's a puppet.
Yeah, you didn't get a good
Stricken
shot
from the record.
Yeah, you didn't get a good shot of the back end of his outfit, but if you did, you'd see a hole that the Borg Queen's hand went into, and it was just like sock puppeting him. You could see the anguish on his face. He's like, I don't want to say these things.
All right. We're going to take him off the list, guys.
Off the list.
He's
All
a
right.
G tier.
G tier.
I'll pick an actual villain. Jody Simpson, Enterprise and 8.
Jody Simpson
Now we can
coming
actually
in.
add him. So, the thing about Jody is he doesn't like Worf. He's very mean to Lieutenant Uhura. Very mean. And, he picks on me some. So, I would say at least A tier.
I would say S tier. He's
Maybe.
gotta be.
He is pretty good.
He's right up there with that cargo container.
Ashley?
For picking on Worf.
Yes.
Well, he's mean to Uhura, too, remember.
Yeah, he hates Worf just like the cargo container. They would actually team up. That would be like Worf's like syndicate of villains, like the city Insidious 6 or whatever. Would also include Jody and this cargo container. And
I mean, you're right, Dave. He's a Kai Wynn equivalent. Like, S tier.
S tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave
No
him
objections.
All right.
Yeah.
Next villain. How about Nagulam?
Oh, yeah.
Nagilum.
Nagilum from the episode. What is his episode called?
You're right, Sam.
Where Silence Has Lease is the name of
thing
the
about
episode.
Nagilum is obviously he's all powerful sort of, but like he's just a curious child. Like he never has any malicious intent.
He kills
Plus
that guy.
curiosity.
He makes that guy go
out of curiosity because he
right?
didn't understand death and he wanted to see what it looked like.
Well, it was kind of, and then they're like, "Stop it!" And, like he's a villain, I'd say.
Yeah, because he's like, stop. He's like, no, like I want to learn more. I'm going to do more.
Yeah.
He's like the worst villain because he's not intentional. He's like a child who's like, I'm just going to destroy the playground.
Yeah, he has no regard. It's there's no
But
No
I
remorse.
just don't think there's a lot of there's not a lot of evil there. I think he's more like accidentally evil, kind of like some of these D tier guys.
Is it evil or is it
Moriarty
curiosity? Like misdirected curiosity?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
right. So he's not an S tier villain.
He could have killed them all pretty easily.
God, he's the embodiment of an adverse childhood experience, right? Like
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't. He's a villain, but he's kind of I don't know. You wouldn't want to run into him. So he's powerful, And so there's also like that factor, but he was also kind of like they didn't even really know how to reason with him. How did they get out of that again?
He's like Laws. Laws is the most equivalent character we have on here so far.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
Well, Laws is all the way down here in D tier, so
Yeah.
And that's where he should be, I think.
Because I feel like he's
he's
more
just-
powerful than Lost, but also the performance wasn't as good. So I think it kind of
Yeah.
washes.
yeah.
In-Laws was kind of actually a little more murderous. Like, just because he didn't mind stabbing that Klingon, and he knew it would hurt him. Like, he's like, it wasn't a curiosity stab.
And he was disturbingly racist. So
And disturbingly racist.
Yeah.
But maybe
A lot
Nagilum
of them
is too.
are.
We don't know.
Right.
We don't know.
They don't even know.
how racist? Disturbingly. That's it.
Disturbingly.
At a disturbing level, which is to go
Which
without
is pretty
saying.
much any level, but yeah. All right. Well, here's one. This is a new edition, but I'm gonna go right ahead and say it. This is S tier for me.
Okay.
Kivas Fajo. Kivas Fajo.
Kivas Fajo.
is so friggin' like he was the character I mentioned last episode where I said some of these guys are just good because we're all like they all think they're the good guy. Kivas Fajo is the delightfully evil guy.
Yeah.
He knows he's evil, he owns it, and he enjoys it. And he tries to like maximize his evil enjoyment. He's like,
Yeah,
how
that
much
phaser that was
enjoyment
like
can
it
I
kills
get from
you
this
like
evil?
slowly. It was like an illegal phaser that was like going to like boil you slowly alive, like
Yeah, it's like
in the most
horribly
torturous
painful.
way. The
Yeah.
episode "The Most Toys" from the third season of Next Gen.
Like he's almost the most evil of all of these characters because
Maybe.
he just owns
He's very
it.
sadistic. He's
Yeah.
very greedy. He tries to make Data his pet, right, or like part of his collection. And
And that
Data,
woman who is like supposedly he had some attachment to, he's just like, now I'm gonna kill you now.
right.
He's the worst.
And Data was
Great
ready to
performance.
remember
Saul
Data was ready
Rubinek
to kill
is
him.
awesome
Data
everything.
Data like pulled the trigger, but then he got beamed away, and they're like, "Did you
such a good episode?
Yeah.
Did you fire that gun, Data?" And he was like, I don't know. Who knows? You know, he kind of just walks off.
And Data's just cold-hearted reasoning too. He's just like, if you persist, I will have to take.
Yeah, I
aggressive
think he
action."
was like, well, my ethical program is saying it's okay to take you out. You're like
Yeah.
too dangerous. So maybe S
He actually
level.
says something like, "My ethical subroutines can't allow you to harm me."
Yeah.
Like he has to protect himself as well.
And others. Yeah, I think it makes And Saul Rubinek, right? I mean, what a great portrayal on top of it. It's perfect.
One of my favorite actors. He's amazing. He's great in Warehouse 13 too. Just in a show, but he's great in it. Yeah, it's a pretty good show actually. I like Warehouse 13.
I'll sign off on S tier for Kivas Fajo.
Ashley, you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I am, yes.
Well, Jeff, whether you are or not, it seems
Oh, I
like it's-
hardcore am. Big time. Yeah.
One of the most memorable villain performances, I think, of TNG.
Yep.
Well, and
All
one
right,
I think they
Dave.
tried to mirror, repeat in Voyager and not quite as well.
Who?
as played by another Canadian actor, Saul Rubinek.
Yeah. The mirror was the Jason Alexander dude. Was that Masterpiece Society?
The think tank.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to
We didn't put him on here.
Duras.
Duras, son of Gerard.
Duras, son of Gerard, who killed Kalar, mother of
he did.
Alexander. And
He kind of almost defines the shittiness of Duras. Like when you think how shitty Duras's are, he's sort of the one you think about.
yeah, he's like he was a really bad guy. He like his dad was the one who betrayed at Kittimer. And then he put that dishonor onto Worf, who had to go into discommodation. Then like all that. Then Kalar found it out and was going to expose it all. And then he kills her. And then Worf goes and kills him.
Sucks because she was awesome. Susan
Yeah.
Flaxton's always awesome, but that Kalar character specifically was so awesome. I would have loved to have gotten more episodes with her. So he's a bastard.
Right.
Forget
And you can only imagine if he had teamed up with his sisters in any episode, they would have even been more formidable, right? Like
They hated him though. They even mentioned how they thought he was like an idiot and a dick. Like
yeah, they did.
There's
Yes.
some Beto don't care for old Duras.
Well, he was an idiot too, but
Like
like
even his own family hates him. What does that tell you? Where do we put a guy like that? Like nobody likes him.
I think he's high up on the list. I think he's in the top 3 tiers. I'm not sure exactly
Really?
where to. Yeah.
I think it's his fault that we had to suffer Alexander in TNG, so he's up there. He is the biggest the biggest villain of them all, because if she hadn't died, we wouldn't have had Alexander.
Right.
Not as much, yeah, for sure.
Maybe the 1 and that's it. I feel like I would start him at a B just because like everything he did led to that little mini Klingon Civil War and redemption.
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah. But he was basically the most spoiled rich kid as well, because he was sort of just like from this family that was really important and was too big to fail. So therefore he had to be protected, but he was kind of an idiot. And then when like Kalar, who was just happy to burn down the old conventions of the Empire and like all the old houses and whatever, and then he kills her on the Enterprise. Right,
yeah, he gets away with it.
Yeah, he was, and then so Worf just is like, nope, and then goes and kills him, and then Worf gets stripped down.
Did kill him.
Yeah, right
in that backhand in the other episode.
Well, there's 2 episodes with Duras, right? So
right, he backhands him in the other one.
I think a B level is acceptable for Duras because of the Kalar murder, which seems so brutal. It seems like because she's still alive when he finds her, right? So it's like...
And she had a small child, and he knew that.
Yeah. What I'll caveat the B with, though, is there are some other Klingons of the family we're going to look at, and they'd better be at a higher tier than him. So I think...
Yeah.
That's a thing to consider.
If you put him at a B, then like everyone, like the Duras sisters are going to probably go to an A. Yeah, I'm going to go down to C for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'm fine with C. I don't think he's as bad as Alexis.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
All right.
Or Armus.
He's not up there with Vatic.
Okay, this one's back to me, so I will pick Arn Darvin.
Charlie Brill. Arn Darvin.
Charlie Brill.
From the Trouble with Tribbles and
what are you doing here? We're going to Google. We better get some Google money for that sponsorship.
All right, I hit on my mouse.
Not holding my breath.
Charlie Brill, Arn Darvin.
I mean, he doesn't really do much. He's almost like an F tier, isn't he?
He's a hero of the Empire,
right?
He was the Trials and Tribulations and the Trouble with Tribbles. He got the time warp. He went back in time. He was going to get a statue. He thought, right? Well,
I think if you look at him just in the Trouble with Tribbles, he's like a D or F tier. Like it's kind of, but when you add Trials and Tribulations and you have that whole like the context of what he was doing, it doesn't bring him up much, but maybe D or C. He just had a lot. I don't know. He was very intentional about what he did.
He's not even the biggest villain in those episodes.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a really
the Tribbles are the biggest villains.
True.
And even
you know what Cardassians drink in the morning? Fish juice. Hot fish juice.
He doesn't appreciate a nice fish juice.
He's a D level villain, probably, right?
Yeah, at best.
He's down there with Cybok and Landru.
There you go.
That works.
All right. My next pick is Weyoun.
Oh my. Weyoun, which one?
All of them.
I had 8 different Weyoun banners here. They all say Weyoun.
Water immune to most forms of poison. Comes in handy when you're a diplomat.
Especially when you're working with the Cardassians.
S tier.
S tier villain.
Throw it out to somebody, but that's
I have to be on S tier with it,
I have to admit I find it somewhat disturbing seeing you working for these Federation people.
He was really good. He could also be very threatening at times.
Mm-hmm.
The Dominion has endured for 2,000 years and will continue to endure long after the Federation has crumbled into dust.
Yes.
But like even he's not even like that. He seems like that complete stooge, but he's not, because
he's not.
Damar did convince him to kill Odo.
Yep.
Which he was against at first. He's like, all right, fine, we'll do it. And it's like,
Well, and I think he can
he's
even
pretty
be
bad.
like an overarching enemy against like Jake and Nog when they're trying to trade a baseball like that. Like he is, yeah. S for sycophant.
I think he's right up there with Ducat. You know, like how can you?
Yeah.
Like,
Because even if they manage to kill him, he's coming back. Like he was a great villain. Because you know, even if something happens, we're gonna see him again.
Mm-hmm.
Until the end, where she's like, "Oh damn, that was my last Wayoon."
Right, until they Mr. Multiplicity Michael Keaton him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
How delightful. The mysterious plots, the subtle innuendo, the veiled threats. It's also entertaining.
All right. Well, here's
what you got?
Here's one for Ashley. Old Lady Kess.
Oh God, D tier.
D tier.
My vote's gonna be for F.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Old Lady Cass. She was going to sell them out to the Vidians, guys. Because she was confused and had Alzheimer's or something.
It didn't make a lot of sense. Like,
I didn't get it.
And she just comes back angry and
she comes back angry and who did she kill? Balana, right? Like or whatever.
Kill anyone.
But like she does when she first comes into engineering, I think. And then like they changed the timeline, but she was gonna sell them out to the Vidians, and it was all this whole thing. She was pretty scary when she's coming down that hallway and like things are blowing up behind her.
That's a cool scene.
Yeah, but and she's very malevolent, and then like the younger Kess tries to reason with her, and she doesn't care, and then ultimately Janeway has to kill her, and it kind of changes the timeline where they know that Kess is going to go bad in the future, so they prepare for it, and therefore they're able to get out of it. So, but she was kind of like she kind of beat them, right? So she was kind of an effectual villain. I think she's more effectual than Sela.
She didn't win.
She did the first. She almost won the first time. She lost. She ended up ultimately she got thwarted in the past, but she beat the present day Voyager and using their warp core to go back in time and becoming like this temporal villain. I say C level.
Oh, that's crazy. D.
Ashley,
I'm still D.
Jeff,
I could definitely live with C. But I don't. I'm feeling D with her.
Okay. Well, I made my case for old Kess, old lady Kess.
Old Kess.
I never found her threatening.
It was just confusing and annoying because I didn't want to really see Kess again. No offense, Kess.
Agreed.
I
don't want to bag on her, but Jennifer Lien she didn't have that gear.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for Kess. All right. Badgie from Star Trek Lower Decks.
God, a walk. I'll be right.
I don't like this character too much myself. I don't know if you guys have an opinion on Badgie.
I being a user of OG Microsoft Word, he holds a special place in my heart, right? Inspired by Clippy and all that, but.
Right. Well, and written by the episode where he first shows up was written by John Cochran from Survivor. Who won a season of that. A couple of the Survivor guys went on to become writers on Lower Decks. And I cover like Survivor on the Super Mater Brothers podcast.
How is it Survivor is like in Star Trek podcast isn't? But anyway,
I don't know. I can't tell you that. But I'm not a big fan of this character. I would start him for me at an F.
It didn't work.
He's kind of a personal villain, isn't he? Like if it's not for Rutherford, he doesn't. Right.
He's just in the holodeck. Just don't go in there and open his program. You're fine.
Yeah, he's not.
Which he does do again. He calls on Badgie a second time, but didn't work for me. It was too silly. That's when it kind of bled into Rick and Morty territory a little bit.
Badgie is back.
Although my amazing partner did paint me a Badgie that's beautiful and I love and I have in my office, but that doesn't raise him a tier. Just actually makes him more fun.
I like Peanut Hamper and I like Agamus, but I don't like Badgie. So that's how I'll leave it there. All right, Davan.
All right. Well, let's go with
Valeris from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country.
The Trek's in the City.
Another Canadian actor.
Yep. I mean, Star Trek has got a lot of Canadian actors.
Yeah. Kim Cattrall.
I really put her on a similar tier as General Chang, right? So both were trying, like their motivations were similar, right? You know,
right.
Hold that old guard.
The betrayals are also
wit and charm. But
and she kills those guys,
like
guys that like were the assassins, right? She cold blood kills them like by shooting them in the head with her phaser, right? And then she was going that when she find out, she think that how they get her is like they're like, oh no, they survived, and then she tries to go and finish the job, and then Spock's like, well, you have to shoot, but she doesn't shoot, right? So she had a little bit whatever, but then and then Spock does that whole thing where he like does the mind meld against her.
Would you guys like to hear about Sabo?
I have a pair right over here.
You have a pair of Sabo?
Yeah. Or their wooden shoes.
I thought I heard some clacking on the floor.
Yeah, I throw them into my podcast feed regularly, and it's reflected in my revenue numbers.
Would it have been better if Valeris had been not Valeris, but rather
Saavik?
Saavik, yeah.
Is she supposed to be Saavik?
I think originally that was the idea, and then they couldn't get.
Oh wow!
And then so they ultimately made this new character.
They could recast Saavik a third time. Who cares?
Sure.
Like,
yeah, no one would have cared. But
yeah,
it would have been better if she was Saavik. For me, she's more like a Soren. I would put her more at a B myself. She doesn't have the charm of Chang. She's not as memorable as Chang.
Ashley, we get
Jeff. You made the point if they removed Chang from Undiscovered Country, it wouldn't be a very good movie. You could remove Valeris from it, and it would still have Chang and be great.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I'm with Davan. More of a B, a little more forgettable than the rest of those in A.
Yeah. All right.
She's no Tomalak.
All right. All right. True. Valeris. Okay. Moving on to Cal Hudson.
Cal Hudson, okay.
The Maquis leader from the two-parter The Maquis in Star Trek.
He betrayed his uniform!
He betrayed his uniform, but Sisko was way more forgiving of him than he was to Michael Eddington.
That's for sure.
He never liked Eddington.
Even though, no.
Sisko doesn't like Canadians.
No.
My lucky loony.
Right. I think that Cal Hudson... I don't know. Like, we find out that he dies anyway somewhere down the line against the Cardassians.
And how much of a villain is he? Like, we've been kind of wishy-washy on how
he's not much of a villain. He's more he's more of like he's like a Chakotay equivalent. So he's probably like if you got to put him at
an Eddington equivalent though, but he's just not as cool.
He is Chakotay to he's Janeway's Chakotay to Eddington, right? Like sort of a thing, which would basically make him an F tier.
Yeah, he's an F tier villain. All right,
yeah,
Cal
he's
Hudson.
Really a villain. He was a good guy. Like,
but he was on the wrong side.
Yeah,
was he?
Well, we could debate the Maquis another deep dive.
We do that on Debate 9.
Yeah.
We have a show for that. We'll get you on there sometime, Jeff.
Heck yes.
Yeah. All right, here's a good one, and here's one, Jeff. I want to hear your critiques on his leadership style. Arctis Baran.
Arctis Baran from the Gambit. Where is he? I'm trying. There he is.
Fine leader of a starship.
He had those devices that could give you pain or kill you.
Shock chips in you, but that's a leadership style. So how do you feel about that?
I feel like it's a leadership style that worked really well in like the 50s, 60s time frame. It worked well enough that 2 generations past were still in therapy, recovering from the impacts of that leadership style. Not good.
Not good.
But it is a thing.
He's a pretty bad guy.
Like the leadership soapbox for a minute. like for managers, leaders, and stuff out there, understand, please, that like you have such an impact on people's personal lives and their families, and sometimes that's even generational. So like, stop being a dick and just be cool. Like, please, for God's sake, just be cool.
Just be cool.
Be cool. I think that
Buddy
Brand
just had to
belongs.
quit his job because his manager wasn't cool. Came in, tore a strip off of something that wasn't even his fault, and he's like, "Well, see ya."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think Brand belongs at a C level. I think he's dangerous, but not exactly memorable either. You know, he's sort of just, you know.
well, I like that episode a lot. He's not the best villain in that episode.
No.
But they're both pretty good, I think. I'm fine with C.
Yeah.
Or even D.
C level. I think he's better than Old Kiss.
Yeah, well, OK should be an F. How did you get a D?
D. I think she had a few merits.
That one scene, honestly, that one scene of her tearing down the corridor.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's worth a tear.
That's
Yeah,
worth it. That's worth a villain thing right
That was Kess's high point.
Yeah.
Period.
Is it my pick?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with Osira from Star Trek Discovery season 3. Was it?
I didn't get that far. So I can't comment.
Jeff, can you help me out here?
Yeah. God, she could have been a B tier. Like there was B tier potential in her, but it did not hit. I think I see
She was
her
on
D.
Discovery, and they miss. They don't hit.
They don't. They take big swings, and you know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's cool. But gosh, that batting averages. Well, there's a reason.
They don't have enough skill in the writing room. That's the biggest problem with that show. I feel like they have like their little group that all like agree with each other on everything, so no one ever like says that's a shitty idea. Don't do that.
Yes, Dad, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
No,
They
no
have
control. They need an Ira Bear who's just like that sucks.
they have some ideas that would be great episodes, but don't need to be entire seasons.
Ira Bear needed an Ira Bear to tell him some of his ideas sucked too, though.
No,
So-
we didn't. DS9's perfect.
Come on, your most hated episode, like the Roggers, the Darker Night or whatever, you know. That's written by him.
And
So
somebody did tell him that sucked. That was supposed to be worse.
yeah, I
That was
know.
supposed to be
That's what I was
Kira.
saying. He needed somebody telling him for some
He
of his
did.
ideas.
You're right. He did, but he did have that person.
Yeah. But back to Osira, the leader of the Emerald Chain in Star Trek Discovery. She's kind of a gangster, but then she tries to join make this deal
Orion
like this.
Syndicate.
Yeah, no, she's the Emerald Chain because there's no Orion Syndicate
right,
anymore in this 32nd century. It's this Andorian Orion Alliance. She's like the one who plays her. She's like the niece of Margot Kidder who played Lois Lane.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think she was well
Looks like her.
portrayed.
Wow.
I think the idea was cool, but the writing was garbage. And if she wasn't going opposite of Admiral the Mummy Returns, then she would have been utter garbage.
Yeah. Do you know our friend Michael Chan was in that season, and he was
Admiral Vance's right hand.
Yeah, he was like he was like Admiral Vance's like gopher guy who was like he didn't actually have a name. He's just called Lieutenant of Headquarters.
We call him LT Chan.
Yeah, LTG junior grade. You have to emphasize the junior grade,
right?
The junior grade.
But I'd say Osira is a D level or maybe a C level at best. I think C level is generous, but
C, no, not C. D.
D just because her writing's kind of bad.
Discovery.
She has
D
like
for
this.
Discovery.
She has like this big final showdown with Michael Burnham. That's kind of
dumb. It was so dumb.
Yeah.
It just made no sense. I mean, if you take it on its own, it was cool, but like in any context, it just falls apart.
Yeah, it was kind of like okay, whatever. Michael
whispered,
Burnham.
"I come in peace," but she didn't hear her, and they fought anyway.
Yeah. All right, Osira.
You come in. I come in peace. You go in pieces.
We're leaving you in D, but let's even then it's generous. Okay.
I think F, but I didn't see it, so I'm just.
Do we want to hit her down to F? I'll hit her down to F.
I don't know. If the writing's shit, then what are we giving her a D for?
She was kind of bad.
Yeah. I think the portrayal. I think her acting was good. I think the portrayal was good.
She's just holding on. I think she's holding on to the edge there at D. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna move on to Dreadnought.
Okay. Dreadnought from Star Trek Prodigy.
Kind of a scary robot.
He's he is.
He's more threatening than like a Laws or a Core or Sayla. Like he's almost a C just because he actually tries to like infiltrate your ship and destroy you.
I think
he did. He kind of took over the ship for a while.
I think to Ashley's point in part 1 of this, though, he is such a Star Wars villain.
Yeah.
Right.
He looks like a Star Wars villain.
He's General Grievous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of the Grievous there.
An offspring is a liability. Emotions can be exploited.
Nothing
Yeah,
against
that
General
dramatic.
Grievous, though. I like General Grievous.
The guy who does the voice is Jimmy Simpson from Westworld and other things. He's
Super good.
Yeah, he's good at it, but
I advise getting rid of the Admiral by throwing her out of an airlock.
he is very
For
intimidating.
Dreadnought?
He's very physically intimidating. He's very dangerous. He's very effective. I say he's a sea level villain.
I
I
agree.
wouldn't fight that. Yeah. All right. That's good. All right. Well, we've been talking about him a lot. Agamus. Played by the great Jeffrey
Combs. I have a couple.
I'm going to throw this one out to Ashley.
I mean, I really like Agamus. I'm gonna go A.
I am Agamus. I will produce a whole fleet of murder drones.
Yeah, see, he's like Kivas Fajo. He's just like delightfully evil, and he loves it.
Yeah, he's
he's almost S tier. Like he's so good.
I put him up to A.
But they caught him. They did kind of foil him pretty easy. But.
Right. Well, we'll see how, if him and Peanut Hamper teamed up, we'll do anything. But that was kind of where we were left last time.
But I love the way he switches gears though. He's just like, hey, let's be buddies. You should give me the keys, and I will watch them for you. And it's like, what?
I just love how he literally went from being a pile of garbage to like an existential threat.
Yeah.
That's power right there.
Yeah. So we leaving him at A?
Yeah.
A for
I think he's
Agamus?
an A. He's an A level. S tier. I think is he still has to earn that. I think. But
Yeah, right.
who's
He will. He might though.
He might.
I think he might. Yeah.
Here.
Who the hell are you?
I am Agamus, and I think you and I could do awful things together.
Oh, I can't wait for that. They should build that up over the season and make that like the big finale. But we'll see.
All right. A level for Agamus. Okay, my pick. The Gorn.
It's the Gorn.
It's the Gorn.
Going.
Are we doing?
He was forced to fight, was he not?
The Gorn from the specifically from the episode from Arena.
Is he even a villain?
Okay.
He was forced to fight.
He was forced to fight. Yeah, by the what were they called? Those aliens.
They
weren't the
not the
Metrions.
Telosians.
It was an M.
It was an
Oh, the
M
Metrons,
thing.
right?
The Metrons, maybe.
Metrons.
Yeah. So the Gorn, he's like, I will find you, Kirk, and I will eat you, and I will make.
I don't know. I feel like he's a victim.
Yeah, he was Kirk.
I think if we're only doing the original series Gorn, then he'd be like a D or an F. Because the only reason we even remember the Gorn is because he became a meme.
Yeah.
No way. He was awesome. He's so distinct looking. I'd say he's like a D level.
But that's what I mean. That's what I
C
mean
level.
by that's why we
they could
remember him. Is
they could sell Gorn
because
masks
the
and
episode
things.
was ridiculous.
The Gorn versus Kirk. It's like even Cisco loved it. It was
F
like
is
epic.
a victim.
Well,
Like,
he
I
was
would even-
very
I would vote
malicious.
Yeah.
Just strike him from the list.
Strike him from the
And
list.
it was
I
just
could handle an F.
it was silly, so it stuck in people.
Put Gordy down here and F.
Because
Jeff said it. He's Kirk.
He's Kirk. They're both just doing their thing, flying around doing whatever, and Metron's like, nope, you're doing this.
Hey, fight this bare-chested human. Like, come on now.
All right, fine. F. All right, poor Gorny.
It's the Gorn.
Okay.
All right, well, for this one, Jeff, remain Klingon.
Kuzma, I am the Kuzma. And I say you're too close to that Klingon territory.
Just stick a bunch of Kleenex in your mouth.
I have a bunch of marbles in my mouth.
Like that's, yeah.
Klingon.
But he's an interesting character. It's
Yes.
just the redesign of their language, the way they talk and the way they look was bad. But that's not the character.
So I think especially if you dive into the comic books, I think that's one of the things I appreciate that the modern Trek has done is like they've been like in a canon way incorporated some of the novels in the comics.
Tell that to Dave. Dave always says if it's not on screen, it's not canon.
It's not.
It is.
Well, they bring in the showrunner and the writer of the episodes to write the backstory.
More so, okay, that I can see is more gray.
Yeah, it's canon-ish, right?
Yes,
But,
right.
Like when you get some of his backstory as a kid and how he found the sarcophagus ship and how he really like got into the stuff of Kalis, like he becomes a hero with that. But I think that for this dude is a villain. He was shooting for the war, to unite the houses. And that war, despite how it was portrayed in Discovery, had ramifications through all the movies, even into TNG. I think I would start him at C for the conversation.
Yeah.
His effects lingered. Like if you related Chang to being a Remain Klingon type last episode, so it's like the effect he had still like lingers through.
Yeah, Chang
Klingon
exists
society.
because of Takuvma. Takuvma, and I even covered this in one of my Discovery episodes. Like Takuvma is Moses for the Klingons. He's free us from this and let us.
He brought the houses together.
He did. Yeah.
Which they were all divided before that, seemingly, and so he's but then I could say he's like the Gorn. He's more like not a villain, but a misunderstood personality. But then he also kind of does.
But
the
didn't
bad
he
things.
start a war?
He did start a war.
He was quite xenophobic
because he takes like this ceasefire.
Yep.
He takes the ceasefire from the admiral, who's like played by the guy from the Breakfast Club, and then he flies a ship into his ship, right? Yeah. So there's kind of like a bunch of treacherous, dishonorable
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I think also like his whole thing was weaponizing the "we come in peace," right? And so like he was building a cultural war that he didn't understand, and so I think
I love that response to no, they don't.
Yeah, right. So yes, I think he is a villain. I think Sea Level is worthy. I think he's better than.
Am I the only person who thought season 1 of Discovery was actually the best season?
I enjoyed it.
That show just lost me.
They had a lot of momentum going, but then they sort of got scared and things changed, and I don't know. So yes and no, and there's a lot to unpack just in season 1 of Discovery alone. But yeah, season 2 I didn't really love, and
best thing about it was Pike.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Well, where do we have him? Where do we put Takuvma?
Oh, we left him at C.
C for
good with that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Remain Klingon with the C. While we're talking about it, do you want guys to talk about Vok? Also known as Ash Tyler?
Vok. Even worse on the accent than Takuvma.
Yeah, the albino Klingon. Son of none.
Bro was a fanatic, right? Like to me, like this is the danger of a religious fanatic. Is right. Vok.
He ate Georgiou.
Yeah. Wasn't he Tyler?
Yeah. He is Ash Tyler.
That was dumb. You make him F tier just for how stupid that was.
But I love though how it legitimized what Arn Darvin went through. Like with Darvin,
right, Arn Darvin went through the thing, but we also where did we leave Arn Darvin? Down here in D.
Yeah.
So does he belong with Arn? 2 Klingons?
I don't think he's as good as Takuvma for me.
I agree. I think he's meaner than Takuvma, but he's didn't have the impact.
Yeah.
He snapped the neck of Culber.
True.
Yeah, because Takuvma didn't see himself as mean. Like he's just like he's a fanatic.
I think he's more evil than Takuvma.
Really? Well, Takuvma's not evil. He's just effective.
Yeah, I don't think he's as effective as Takuvma.
No. So D level?
And he just looks awful. Like just awful. I hated when every time he was on screen because he looks so awful.
He looks so sweaty all the time.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like a Klingon. That's like the most generic redesign of all time. That's every villain in every movie made in the space since the year 2005. Like
yeah, it's kind of disappointing to look back on. Okay, yeah, D level. All right.
All right, so let's move on to Admiral Valdor, played by Brian Thompson, of many Star Trek roles.
I lost him. Here he is.
There he is. Yep, you can't you recognize that face anywhere.
He's a Romulan.
They put makeup on him all the time, and you're like, "Yep, that's Brian Thompson."
He's running the scheme in Enterprise season 4 against trying to get the what will become the Federation worlds to kind of be distrustful of each other with these holographic drone ships and stuff.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out on him. So we don't see a whole lot from him. We do see that whole scheme he does with the Enar and everything, and those
the mind control,
ships, which was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool scheme. But beyond that, we do know that an entire ship class ends up being named after him, the Valdor class. So he must be hugely big time in the Romulan Empire. So that's something to keep in mind. And the Valdor classes are friggin' gorgeous. Where's my Valdor class?
The thing is, he's malevolent, but his villain, his whole scheme ultimately brings those Federation planets closer together, and ultimately, he helps create. So he's kind of like almost like this necessary evil that kind of leads to a greater good. But
his failure was the good guy's victory thing. Where thanks for trying. You brought us together.
Yeah, so that's kind of his legacy.
He's the hero of the Federation.
He is. Him and Archer, they were the true founders.
But the whole thing with the Anar seemed very kind of sadistic. So I think he was, a bad guy all around.
Oh yeah.
And so I think he's more effectual than Sela. I don't feel like he's up at the B level. For me. So I leave him at the C and
C. Yeah. He was Nero. He's a Romulan with a scheme.
He's another scheming Romulan. They got
all the Romulans have schemes.
Yeah. True. We have more Romulans to talk about, so I don't know if that's a segue.
Well, throw one up then.
Shinzon. No, he's not a Romulan.
He's a Reman.
He's a Reman, but also a human.
F
tier.
F for the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an F.
Another. I mean, could have been so great, so much potential there, and just went like a wet fart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a case for he's a D level villain in a bad movie. That's written really bad.
For me, he's what makes it a bad movie.
But I think
the thing that makes
Tom Hardy really tries in this
He did.
performance. And I think he deserves a little bit more credit than an F level. I think
if you take the Viceroy away from him, he's a joke.
Yeah.
Well, Viceroy was way cooler
and more of a villain.
Is he as good as
he
Vok?
was a mind rapist.
Do you think he's worse than Vok? And the Salt Vampire?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would rather watch the Salt Vampire episodes 6 times in a row than rewatch that movie.
Wow.
I have not watched that movie in probably 15 years.
It hasn't gotten better.
No, I won't watch it. It doesn't exist.
If Jody was here, he'd be throwing down because he always defends that movie.
Fine.
Every movie
he has
is
bad
somebody's
taste.
favorite.
It's okay.
He's an S tier villain. We don't listen to him.
All right, Shinzon. Okay, that's I've made my case for Shinzon. I don't think it was enough.
You lost.
Yeah,
just like Shinzon.
Yeah, just like him. He helped kill Data. He was kind of responsible for his Data's death.
Yeah, that turned out great.
Yeah, true. Okay, Davan, pick.
Okay, let's get a new one here. Let's go with Kai Wynn. No, we did her already.
No, we already did her.
My bad. I just didn't delete.
You can just look up here and just see.
Here's an equally cool one, maybe. Enobrin Tain.
Enobrin Tain.
Ooh.
Great character. Love when he's on screen. So he's at least a B.
Yeah.
No, he's really fun.
And he's super smart and maniacal. Man,
He's got a complex and fascinating arc too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like
We'll have
he's
to
like,
be more careful next time, Elam.
when he's talking
Like
to
when the
Garrick
ship's
there,
exploding
and
around him.
he's like, "I should have killed your mother before you were born."
Yeah, you know, I should have killed your mother.
Yeah. That's one of his like last little things. He's like, you know what? I should have killed her. You know,
Come closer.
But you're not my son. He's just such a dick.
he's
to
like, come
the end.
on. He's like, will you stop? You know. So
She's like, for just this one time, tell the truth.
What was it he said? Like, I'm proud of you.
That
This
day
time
he jumped on
or
the
something?
horse.
Like-
That time. That
Yeah.
day. He's like, that one day is all he says to him. He's like,
Yeah.
you're not my son, but I was proud of you that one day.
I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him up at
Awful parent.
I'm gonna start him at a B, and I would even say he's almost an
A.
A. But he's kind of like
He's an A for me.
he's an A because he had a
He's
whole
like Tomalak.
he had a whole
He's
scheme
like-
working with the Romulans to try to like destroy the founders. He had
Yep.
schemes. He had like a lot of
did.
going on, he
And
was
for all the things that Garrick has done and all of the stuff that people say, like the stuff that he just lets roll off his back and like all these things happen and he's like whatever, and then he's reduced to being this like child vying for his dad's attention. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he can reduce Garrick to that puts him up at least an A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at these Cardassians rising to the top.
Let's
Is he?
look at Deep
They're the
Space
best.
Do you think he's?
Space Nine is also so much better written than everything else.
Yeah.
He might even be S tier, guys. Like I think he's like if we're saying Solaran Prin is S tier and Goldman
Solar
Thread is-
Prin was S tier just for being so evil, but
Yeah. And so broken.
and well, you know, I wouldn't argue S tier for Tane.
Yeah, because I mean, we know he did some bad things.
Yep. And
It's
never
just
stopped.
confusing because he never really directly targets our hero characters. Like he's
And
gives
you
the-
never
he makes Garrick torture Odo too,
Yeah.
right? With that device.
yeah, he does.
and you
know?
never get to find out everything he's done and just how bad it is because he's a spy. Like you don't know. You never get a true story.
Remember that time you interrogated that guy and you just stared at him for 3 hours? 5. Man, they follow up on that so well in the Stitch in Time novel. You ever
Yes.
read that one, Jeff?
So good.
The audio version's out now, so
That's
get
what I've
it,
heard.
everybody.
And Andrew Robeson
Yep.
narrates that bad boy.
Yeah. To me, that book is 100% canon, and I justify saying that because he wrote it while playing the role to inform the character he was playing. It's like it's the backstory of that character.
Well, it's they we'll have to see if they ever produce it on screen.
Use screens. Get with the times. No one watches screens anymore. All right.
Can we talk about the what we're talking about some of these big ones? Let's talk about the
right.
founder, female changeling, the Dominion leader.
Mixed feelings. Played by Salami Jin.
Yeah. Really evil. Remember at the end, she's just like, kill the Cardassians, and Waven's like, which ones? And she's like, all of them. Just kill all of them.
She's super evil.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I feel like they
Esther.
sent her out because she was the most evil of the founders. Like I feel like their other ones maybe aren't that bad.
Like she makes disturbingly racist look pleasant.
Yeah.
They're dead. You're dead.
She's got some great lines here.
Odo is a changeling. Bringing him home, returning him to the Great Link, means more to us than the Alpha Quadrant itself.
She does have
Do
a
you-
line though. Like she,
Do you know what
unlike
makes
Wei Yun,
her-
she won't cross that line.
Do you know what makes her the most evil? She spends all that time telling Odo that he's a child, and then she distracts him for like a week with sex.
True.
So she considers him a child
Yeah.
and then uses
Oh.
sex to distract him
Oh,
while
man.
torturing his friends.
She's a child
S tier.
therapist.
Yeah.
Break that up.
Yeah.
not good.
Ashley convinced me there. That's a nasty one.
She's a really bad egg.
She's,
I was,
yep.
she's S tier. I think. I think there's no doubt about it. Like and all of these great Deep Space Nine villains rise into the top here.
Yeah.
Is, kind of a testament.
Deep
to it
Space
all.
Nine has the best villains.
Yeah, she's right up there. Boom. The evil three there. Davan. You're muted.
You're a mute.
That's why you guys didn't laugh at my cool pun.
Yeah,
Because you can forgive
that's
DS9
exactly
for
why.
Burial.
Hey, redo it.
I said we can forgive Deep Space Nine for Vedic Burial.
Can we?
Mirror Burial? We can't forgive him for Mirror Burial.
He's an S
He's
tier.
no
villain.
worse or better than the other Burial.
He's worse. He's worse because we were done with the Burial story. They brought it back.
So everybody enjoys a
Yeah,
plain
right.
pancake sometimes, right? Like,
I guess so.
All right, here's a
I'll-
favorite villain of mine.
I'll suffer through it if I'm hungry, but I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fair.
From
That's
my
food.
favorite Voyager episode, Kashyyyk from Counterpoint. This is
Oh,
a
from
beautiful episode.
Counterpoint.
I love the music.
I love
the
this
banter between
arrangement,
Kashyyyk.
Captain. You have like the
I
new
love that
Baroque-
arrangement too.
Yes.
Who is this?
To me,
Who
that's-
else does he play?
The actor?
He was in
Yes.
he was in a soap opera for years and years.
Oh,
Like
you know what? I
General
recognize him
Hospital
from
or some shit.
something.
I'm trying to remember. Like he's a really good actor. So when Kate Mulgrew did they did the captain's favorite episodes or whatever, and she picked this one. Because it's this episode where he pretends to come over to her side and work with her because he pretends to be a defector, and then he turns out it's
he's
all
racist against
a ruse. Yeah, he's going against the telepaths, and he's actually kind of like this evil Nazi kind of a character, played by Mark
He's
Herlick.
good, and he friggin' makes you believe him. Like,
Yeah, and he says the
Brax! It was just Brax!
But yeah, he's yelling at his subordinate, and
for me, he's at least A tier because I love him. I think he's fantastically played. I love the story around his villainy, and he's legit villainy because he gives her that story about how he's coming over to her side because of these children, telepath children, that he
found in the
helped go
locker.
free.
but Jamie was so great. She's like, okay,
Yeah.
and then actually, no, you're an idiot. I've had your number this whole time.
Because then he tells her the same story, and he's just like, no, but what I learned from that is I was wrong. Telepaths are the worst, and I just let two of them go, and they made me think that. They're insidious. Like,
yeah, they were really bad. It's really I figured that he's so accepting in his evilness, right? Like he's so blind to. It's not like he knows better. It's like he really believes this stuff, right? But on the other hand, he's like this really charming kind of villain who
S tier.
He's not S tier. Yeah, I'm
No.
not. But he's A. He's a really good one. He's a really good one episode villain. I think deserves a lot of credit for that
A?
one.
He's pretty great.
He's pretty good.
All right, what you got for us, Dave?
How about the Squire of Gothos, Trelane?
Stole the Squire of Gothos.
I'm starting him at an A.
What?
Well, I love the idea because we talked about Q and how Q probably isn't so much of a villain as we think. Trelane is the villain Q.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing more of that pure thing. And I think then that the episode where Riker gets the Q powers, is that Q who? Is that
I'd put him at a B though. He's all powerful, and what does he accomplish?
Well, then he gets his parents come and take him down at the end, right? He's like, no, but he's like this petulant child villain. He is kind of really dangerous and powerful. He thinks he's Napoleon. He's kind of racist. He's really kind of really distasteful guy. But his episode was always one of my favorites as a kid, and still kind of is of those original episodes. I think he's just the actor just has a lot of fun with it. The way he kind of goes with it, it's kind of a real classic Trek episode, and I think that Trelane is
Same actor who plays Koloth.
Yeah, same Koloth. Well, we have to also rank Koloth, so maybe we'll
do.
Yeah, because he's like Nagilum, a little older. Like Nagilam's an infant, doing stuff. Trelane is now I'm 9, and I know that this is wrong, but I still love it, and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. So Trelane's he's memorable, but not a great. He's kind of he's mid, upper
Like
mid.
one above Nagilum. Where do we put Nagilum?
Nigilam's down in D though.
Yeah, I think he's
make him a C.
It's a lot better than Nagilum. Like you said, the portrayal's great, the actor's good, the whole episode is awesome.
Yeah, he earned. I think he's earned up to a B. He's a lower end B. While we're on it, how about Koloth? I would put Koloth in D. Completely ineffectual. Maybe
he doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do anything. He's as effectual as Sela. He's in the Trouble with Tribbles episode. As a villain, not much to say about him.
He's better as a good guy too. Oh
He's
my
more-
god, the rain just started again. Hear that banging? That's the
Yeah,
rain.
we hear it. Is
Wow.
that
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the rain. So nothing I can do about that sound.
Oh, you can blame it on the rain.
yeah?
Actually, you know what? I can close that window. Pick one more.
Nothing I can do except close the window. Next guy. How about the pack lid? Grebnet log. We make we make things to make us go.
You picked the lead. I didn't even know we had him on there.
Oh yeah, the captain of the Packlids, Grebnet log.
We look
Oh,
for
Greg Log, yeah.
things that make
He's
us go.
nefarious, but he's not much of a threat because he's so stupid.
But then he shot Jordy multiple times with a phaser.
Well, they needed a red alarm.
Red alarm, red alarm.
I have a theory that the Packlids are not stupid and that their language just doesn't compute with the universal translator. So they come across as stupid, but they're brilliant. And I mean, because every time they're in the Next Generation or even in Lower Decks, wildly effective.
Right.
I mean, they walk out.
Hi, are you ready to give us presents?
They can't even tell who Captain Janeway is.
Well, you think
We
that because
tricked
the
you,
language.
Janeway. We never
you,
wanted
Janeway.
peace.
They just think-
I was a spy.
The word for female captain is Janeway.
Yeah.
It's
Or that's
Janeway.
what. That's how the universal translator. Imagine if we met the Temerians, and the universal translator gave it a shot, right? Like it tried, and we're like, oh, well, clearly they're saying this thing, and they're dumb. Actually, no. They're culturally rich. They're evil. But that's a theory.
They're greedy, they're impatient.
Wouldn't you say they played dumb in Samaritan Snare? Then is that what you're saying? Like they're just playing dumb.
They play a little bit dumb, but then they're like,
As
"This
part
is
of
my
that
friend." Like this
But
is
then, but then like, why would they keep playing dumb when they're like all powerful in Lower Decks and have
Keeps
this
working.
giant shit?
It
Yeah.
keeps
we
working.
like photon torpedoes.
Now, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure Lower Decks is going to tank my theory, but I think it's a good theory.
Hey,
You get a lot
those
of
miners are stealing our snacks.
Oh no, not my snacks.
Yeah, I think he's sea level pack.
Oh, no,
Grebnet
it's
log.
It's another Enterprise.
I can support C.
Sea level.
All right.
He's effectual.
Okay.
Well, if you say so. No, he's fine. All right, we got all these ones. We did Gorgon, right?
Yeah,
we did Gorgon.
Okay, here's a good Klingon. Korax. The Enterprise should be hauled away as
garbage. He's more effectual than Koloth. I think he's a sea level.
He is. He is more effectual than
He's
Koloth.
more
I mean,
villainous
all he
than-
does is insult the Enterprise and start a bar fight.
Right.
He's
like, that's right.
He's the villain in any 80s like comedy movies sidekick who's like, yeah, bust him up, see?
Yeah.
Get him, Spike. Yeah.
He's sea level. He's really like obnoxious and like Scotty punches him and like, you know. And
He's more of a threat than Nagilum.
Well, I thought Nagilum was kind of undervalued, but
he's definitely trying to be a dick.
Yeah, Nagilum at least kills somebody. Laws doesn't even kill anybody.
No.
So,
do we rank him above Core though?
Core. We haven't.
Core's a D.
Core's a D because Core doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think
Yeah, he
I think
didn't-
Nagilum should go up. I think Nagilum should be up here with these guys because these
I'm
are
fine with
all
that.
more dangerous people. Am I?
No, but we kind of compared. Maybe Laws should go up too. Then I don't know.
No, Laws doesn't do anything.
Yeah, right.
He stabs a dude.
He stabs a dude, but he doesn't die. So,
Yeah, all right. But he did it on purpose.
Yeah, but he was also kind of. I don't know. He's just like Laws.
All
Like,
right, that's fine. All right, you go.
Law's cause.
Law's cost.
Law's cause.
How about Dolam, the Zindi reptilian?
He's good villain.
Yeah,
He's a really good villain. I think he's starting at a C, maybe a B.
I'll go on record and say I think he's the best villain played by that actor. That's right, Walking Dead fans. He's cooler than Negan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also read the comic, and the comic Negan's way better. That TV show one was dumb.
But yeah, I mean, seriously, like most of that third season of Enterprise wouldn't have happened if it weren't for him. Like,
yeah,
he's racist, jerk,
Yeah,
aggressive,
killed his own daughter's kid for being like
his own grandkid because he had the thing.
He's really bad. Like maybe A. He's a bad dude.
Yeah, I got a
He
quote from
kills his own allies. He killed this insectoid ship.
He killed the
for, like,
insectoid just for going against
calling
him.
him on something. He's like, "You're the one that killed Degra, not them." He's just like, "Well, I'll kill you then."
After the injection, the parasites will invade your neocortex. Once they begin reconfiguring your synaptic pathways, you'll be much more compliant. Before, your primate brain is too badly damaged to understand. I want to thank you for helping us destroy your world.
But Archer has the best comeback to that. He's just like, on my planet, reptiles have the brains the size of a walnut. They say it's a constant in the universe.
Yeah, right. It's just like
I refuse to listen to any more of this.
He's really good. I think he's maybe an A. I think he's A level. Yeah, like Gollum. Yeah, he's up there for me. Like he's
Ashley.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I put him at least on par with Seska.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. He's really memorable, really effective. Was really unlikable. No redeeming qualities really at all. So, yeah.
All right, my next pick is gonna be hard for me because I'm gonna have to try to separate how much I love the character maybe from the ranking, but we'll see. Romulan Commander from
Which one?
Balance of Terror.
Balance of Terror one.
There's only one. The other one has a name, Dave. You can deny it all you like, but the other Romulan Commander has a name.
Not canon. Mark Leonard. Okay, like we're talking about the one played by Mark Leonard in Balance of Terror. He's a villain, but he's kind of like a conflicted villain. He's a
Kirk equivalent. They're both sort of doing the same.
He's Kirk
thing.
equivalent.
So he did break the neutral zone, right? He did,
right? But ultimately, and he's like in another life we might have been friends, and I think he's probably
character.
He's a good character, but he is a villain. Like I don't know how you could he's kind
not
of
very villainous.
He kills a couple people.
Didn't they blast the colonies? Like didn't
he blew up that entire station.
Yeah. Like his mission, like their mission was to go murder Federation people, and he was doing that till Kirk came along.
Yeah.
I feel like
a D.
Like S tier character in an S tier episode.
Mm-hmm.
But villain wise, D just seems so low.
Yeah, it does. You got to go C.
Okay, just because he's a
like
good character.
performance comes into it too,
and he is dangerous,
so
and,
good,
and whatever. But he's
and he killed people like an whole station.
People. Yeah, he's up there with like Farad Gax.
He killed people following orders, not killed people because he wanted to kill people.
Right, that's
true. There's so much nuance to his character.
His first officer was more evil than him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, arguably the greatest episode of Star Trek.
Easily the best TOS, I think.
Yeah,
so,
it's a great TOS episode. It's got that submarine feel.
Edith Keeler Must Die is another great one though.
City of the Edge,
yeah.
But there's no villain in that episode though, so we don't have anybody from that episode.
Yes, there is. That bus or whatever runs over Edith Keeler.
I guess Hitler, like letting the Nazis take over.
That's the bus driver. He wasn't paying attention, probably on his cell phone back in 1968.
Yeah, probably not. Is my pick?
Good guy. What was the last one? Go for it.
Romulan Commander. Yeah, you picked. How about? Okay, people have been calling for this. We got a comment actually already. Anorax. Okay. People want to know what we think of Anorax as played by.
I was about to pick Anorax. That's
Kurtwood Smith. In the two-parter Year of Hell Voyager.
Phenomenal
episodes.
villain.
Yep,
I think.
Yeah.
Because he's obsessed. He's so obsessed.
He's justified.
They're like, here's your 99.9% effect here. He's just like, well, but because it's his family. His family keeps being left out of the equation. But that's like a super twist of fate. Like, and how do we know? Like, I don't know. he's outside of time. But who knows if him being outside of time has something to do with why his family can't be restored? You know, like he could be the cause of that, but he's crazy.
I compare him with like Soren or some of these other kind of like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's very similar to Soren.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I mean, he's willing to burn the universe down, but so is Soren. So,
is he? Or well, I guess he is. It would just be slow.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's trying to get to like his version of peace, right? But be damned anybody else he has to like wipe out in the process. So he is, he's villainous with sort of like understandable motivations, which makes him very dangerous too, right? So
it makes him compelling as a villain.
It does. Really good. Awesome. I was gonna pick him.
All right, Anorak. So who you gonna pick next? You can't pick him now.
I'm gonna pick old Slippy Slide there.
Slippy Slide?
Yeah, like let's Slippy Slide on the floor and make out because this is Star Trek. Whatever.
That's what happens.
Oh, you mean Narek?
I thought I was watching. Yeah, I thought I was watching Twilight. Or something.
Narek is a D level, maybe. Villain?
Awful.
F.
Awful. Should never have been on screen.
I'll say this. He's F tier, but the way he was able to trick whichever one of the android girls to go and do that little walkie thing, the labyrinth thing, that's
Soji?
Soji he did. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty maniacal. That'd be the only way I could support him at a D, but he's
better than his sister. But that's it.
He doesn't come across as a Romulan for even a second.
No.
He just plays a human. He's just playing a human.
He's like,
there's no nuance to his performance as far as trying to be alien or anything.
What we need here is a real douchebag white dude. Well, here you go. Let's make him Romulan. Okay.
Give him a British accent, and we're great.
He'll be a Southerner. You don't even have to put prosthetics on him.
Yeah. I was not a fan of this guy, nor his sister. While we're on him, let's just talk to Narissa.
Yeah. Narissa.
Also F tier. Also awful villain.
Be worse.
She's worse than him. Like she's the worst. She might be like sub F. But
she might have been a better more of a villain than him.
She felt more Romulan to your point, but like
she did. Yeah.
But then she's just. I hated the performance. I hated the character. I didn't understand what was going on. And while we're okay, the only villain we have here with sunglasses on, Commodore O. From that same season of Picard, season 1. So I was like, what is the show? Picard.
Davan O down there. I would put her at D though. I love her commitment to the long game.
Yeah, I agree with that. She was more interesting.
How did a Romulan get that high up in Starfleet? That's impressive.
She was a Vulcan Romulan hybrid, we're told.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that helps.
It was because
that didn't help Simon Tarsus.
No, but it was for her. It was because of her early Okinawan karate training under Daniel LaRusso.
And her use of sunglasses.
Yeah, and her experience as XO of Babylon 5 as Takashima. So
was that? Oh, she was in the original pilot.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's where she's from. Babylon 5.
She's like S tier.
S tier. Yeah, move her up. Yeah, but she was. She did that mind meld to Girardi that was kind of scary, right? Yeah. And gave it the admonishment.
She's better than Narissa and Narek.
She's better. She's better than Koloth and Laws. I think she's.
Yeah, she is.
She might be up here in C. I think.
Because when you think about it, not only is she a Romulan that infiltrated Starfleet, made her way up to Commodore in this huge position, but she's also in the psycho cult of being Romulan. Like, is niche in the corner. Yeah.
The Jagvash. Yeah, I liked the Jagvash. That was a pretty cool.
Yes, a sub Tal Shiar thing. They were trying to expand on the lore, which I respect. So it's but
kind of inconsistent with the Romulans in Next Generation. But I mean, who are we to tie things anything back?
That's why we're here.
That's right. All right, so we talked about all those Romulans from season 1.
Let's talk about another pair of siblings, shall we?
The Duress sisters,
Lursa
and B'Etor. Why don't we just bring them both up for the conversation? Right. Lursa first, okay.
Lursa, okay. So me and Dave were sort of talking about this before because he wanted to just put them as one, but I'm like, do you rate a schemer the same as a seductress? Because one's a seductress who sort of toes the line of Lursa that Lursa lays out for her, I would say. And Lursa
was more the brains,
scheming with the Romulans, and she's the one doing all that.
like they were effective. Like they got Geordi and they got his visor, and then they are effective for almost destroying the Enterprise D, effectively destroying the whole drive section. Plus, they did a lot of other bad things in the Klingon Civil War and everything else. I think that they're more effective than their ally Sela.
Yep.
They found Tyrol in a harlot's bedchamber.
And I think that they're both better than their brother Duras, who we had previously ranked at a C level. So I think they're starting at both at a B. And then it's kind of like, where do you leave them from there? So
then we measure the seductress versus the schemer.
I think that Lursa is the more interesting one. So I think, if you're going to rank one higher, it's her.
I don't know that they need to be one higher than the other, really, I guess.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
because it's hard to separate them because they're like
similar
they're never separately off screen that I know of. Like every scene they share pretty much in all their run. So
they're a great team because she's the distraction. Like Picard will be like, "Well, can we just talk about?" She's just like, "Could I get you some tea?"
Earl Grey. Look at these.
Yeah, exactly.
One or two.
Yeah, I think.
Would you mind if I filled up your tea? Like,
right? Because I feel like Chang,
I love her.
on
She's
top of
great.
being awesome, Chang blasted a photon torpedo through the A, right? Well, Lursa and B'Etor basically blew up the D. Like,
Yeah.
I put him on that
I guess
same
they
tier.
could be A. Yeah, I agree. A tier. Lursa and B'Etor. They're better than Trelane.
All right. And they're up there with Seska. Yeah, I think they're up.
Yeah.
They belong
Yeah.
up there with
Yeah.
Seska and
They do.
Dahlem and these guys. Yeah, I get that. So okay, but not S tier. They're not that great.
No.
No, they're not that great.
I'm not clamoring for the reboot of the Duras sisters. Okay.
One of them's no longer living, so.
Oh yeah.
How about Rojan from the original series episode By Any Other Name? He was the leader of the Kelvins who took over the Enterprise, and we're going to take them to the Andromeda Galaxy. I once played him on Star Trek Radio Theater, and I gave him a Colonel Clink German voice that I really liked. I was like, thought really fit his character, but he was really menacing. Yep. He's the one who like reduced that one woman red shirt down to like a cube, and then he crushed it with his hands and killed her. So I think he starts at a C minimum, and he has to. He murdered people, and he was going to take over the whole Enterprise, and it was only when Kirk made him jealous that he was able to like thwart his plans and could convince him that to be more human. Because once they went into human form, because their natural form was like these big tentacle monster things that had come from this other galaxy on a generation ship, and they had transformed into humans to better assimilate to taking over the Milky Way galaxy. Anyway, I think he was kind of a really menacing character in a lot of ways, although sort of a product of his conditioning, and that he was born into it. He was born to sort of service this role. So, anyway, that's my case for Rojan.
I'm convinced.
I'm good with C.
C level. We get Davan. We're down. We're starting to dwindle down here. So let's
light at the end of the tunnel.
Charvanek from the Enterprise incident.
You mean the Romulan commander who has no on-screen name?
Who has been named in a million other things, and they're not going to take that back. So she has a name.
It was kind of like how Neota was like this apocryphal name until finally they brought it on screen.
Yeah,
then it
same
became
thing
canon.
here.
But they haven't brought this character back. So we've never been able
Well, they're
to.
not-
She
they might
whispers.
in
She
Strange
whispers
New
it to Spock in the episode. She whispers it to it, and he goes, "Oh, it's so beautiful." That's what he says. But we don't get to hear it, and he never talks about it again.
Didn't the actor's daughter portray? Was that the in Star Trek Continues? Like there's something. I don't remember.
Star Trek Continues. Yeah, that's
not canon. I'm just saying,
that's
like,
a
didn't her
fan-made
the actor's daughter like reprise the role or something like that? Which
yeah, maybe because she was really interesting. Like she takes over the Enterprise, and then she falls this thing for Spock, and then Spock betrays her, and then she's all heartbroken, and it's this whole.
Oh
like,
no, I know what you're talking about now. Her granddaughter or whatever played the Orion in the Orion slave girl in Enterprise.
Oh,
That's who
okay.
it was. Yeah. Yep.
Ash, you got any opinions on this character, whatever we want to call her?
Charvanek, because that's her name. It's respectful.
I don't have any big opinions on her.
I think, and I don't know, for a series that ended by saying that women couldn't be Starfleet captains, to take a female Romulan and put her in command and make her like a big time for real threat, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But a lot of her big time for real threat was romantic wiles. And so I mean, it's a bittersweet piece,
and that's her undoing. That's ultimately her. Like, what is her foil? Is that Spock just kind of like bats his eyes at her, but then he also convinces her that he kills Kirk. So she's kind of duped over and over again. So she's not super effectual. She doesn't. She might be down in D with Sela.
Yeah.
She's kind of.
I think so.
She doesn't really do anything. She threatens to execute Spock and other people, but. It's kind of a whole. They really get the jump on her, so she's kind of really foiled. Although she's a great character.
Yeah, she's there, and look what it says, Charvanek. Amazing.
And now it's on screen.
It's on screen now, so
it's screen. Canon.
Yeah. Canon.
We just canonized it.
There you go.
All right. All right. Let's go. Kang. Whoops, it was your pick.
Kang from the Day of the Dove, season 3 of.
He's a better villain than Koloth.
He's better than Koloth, but is he a whole? Is he above? Is he up here in sea level with the Kuvma and these guys? Like
I don't think so, because part of what we brought Core to a D was because of Blood Oath, right? They had redemption at the end, and
we got all three. We got all three of these guys down here together.
Korax is too high. How is Korax like a?
Korax is the one. He's God. He got up to C just from that.
All right. On one line. It was a good line, though.
Yeah.
And played in 2 episodes. It was such a good line.
But incredible portrayal, right? Michael Ansara. It's like so good.
It's really good. Yeah, I like his wife in that episode, Marcella.
Better villain that he plays in Star Trek is actually in Deep Space Nine, the super misogynist who wants to take the Lwaxana Troy's baby away.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh yeah,
that's a way.
We didn't have him on the list. He was also on Babylon 5 as the Technomage.
He was, which was God. And don't spoil me, but like I really wish they got such a great idea. Those guys have got to come back. I want Technomage.
It is a cool idea. Yeah, no, it was. I like the sort of that part of like the world building of it all. Okay, so we're saying those old Klingons, they're D level, if not F. Like they're not F because they don't suck. We like them as characters, but they just they're just whatever. Okay, what was that other Romulan from
Miri?
What's her name?
Miri?
Not Miri.
Oh, her. Oh, the Romulan, not the Klingon.
The Romulan. She's from the Unification two-parter with Leonard Nimoy when he came back on Next Gen.
Yeah.
Her name in the show.
No, that's not who she is. That's not who that Romulan is.
Yeah, it is. Oh no, that's you're right. That's the Robin. That's the Robin Curtis Romulan. Where's my Romulan? There's another Romulan.
He's taking her down. He's like, I wanted a different Romulan.
You're saying all Romulans look the same? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, it is what he said. Or did I say that? Doesn't.
I guess. I thought I had a different Romulan. They all have the same headpiece, like their hair. Like, come on, like.
No, so she was the one who wanted to take the psionic resonator and use it, weaponize it as it was.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got the wrong. That's who I meant to grab, but I got the picture of the other Romulan.
Talera or T'Pol.
She was dangerous, but then the weapon killed herself with it. So
it didn't even work on Worf.
Yeah. Didn't work.
Like if he had one angry or aggressive thought, it would have killed him.
Yeah, he got all the angry thoughts out.
On him.
Yeah,
he does. What's that Klingon martial art? The
Makbara.
Makbara, right? So, I don't know where to put her. She's like probably.
She had a big evil plot, big evil scheme.
Okay.
It's pretty bad. Like, at least I would say C. She's a big evil. She's kind of like Emperor Valdor. She had a big.
She's
plot.
up there with Ruafu.
Ruafu?
Yeah.
Go up there with Ruafu.
You're in the C tier. Okay. Miri, you wanted to talk about, right?
Oh, well, I thought just who I thought you were talking about. But
she doesn't do that many evil things. She takes
doesn't.
people, she kidnaps and hostage or whatever, but she's kind of 300-year-old, 10-year-old who has the flirting with Kirk's more the villain in that episode,
Right?
For flirting with her. So I
Isn't
say
Mary Kang's wife, or is that no?
In real life or something?
No, in the show. No, I'm thinking of something else.
No, Miri is a villain. Like she's F level for me. Like forgettable is not a villain.
Oh, her. Oh, I was thinking of someone else.
This was the episode that like Adam Woodward was excited to talk to us about on original series, and then we watched it. We're like, it was kind of creepy with Shatner batting his eyes at her, and then we were all like, we kind of roasted Adam for many weeks after that on the podcast about it. He said, "This is your favorite episode, Miri?" And he's like, "I take it back. I don't like it anymore."
That's pretty funny. I mean, F.
Yeah, F. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's one. Charlie X.
Ooh.
He's actually a threat.
Charlie Evans.
And he's just like a crazy kid.
I think this one's pretty. He's Trelane. He's Nagilum. Like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how? But yeah. Right. He's up to B or C. So
I don't know if the performance is as good as this.
I put him in C.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like I Charlie X. I'm like, like I would always skip that episode. So
yeah,
I don't think he's a.
It's one of those definite like first season growing pains episodes of like how are we doing this?
Yeah, I think he's a C level for sure. He's very mid. Sylvia from original series from the episode Cat's Paw, who was the cat. She turned into a cat. And she was like, meow! And she was like, eventually was like that.
I played Sylvia on radio.
You did.
I played the cat as well.
Yeah, you had to make cat sounds. Go back and listen to that, everybody. Sylvia is at least for me a C level because she was kind of this dangerous, weird villain that I don't know felt imposing in that episode for me. You know, that episode was always scary because I always like associated that episode with like it's almost like the Halloween episode of Star Trek original series, Cat's Paw. So it's kind of got this spooky vibe to her. She doesn't really kill anybody or do anything that evil. She puts the Enterprise in like under the flame, under the chain or whatever. But
D at best. Like
D.
She's probably
She
not even as
D.
big a threat as like Moriarty. Moriarty was a legit threat there for a while.
She's a Moriarty. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sylvia's done. Davan, got anyone in mind?
Yep. I do. Pascal Fullerton. He's the like conservative guy on Ryza.
Oh, this guy from Ryza?
Yeah. Pascal.
Oh my god. I was like, is he really a villain? Like if
he's pretty hardcore conservative. That's a villain in my books.
Yeah.
Yeah, here
Especially
he is.
In the future.
The sad truth is, the galaxy is a hostile place. Forget that even for a moment, and you risk losing everything.
Like he wants to strip everybody of their like choice on how to live. He's like everyone should have to. He's a religious fundamentalist. He's like
what we need here on Ryza are traditional family values.
Yeah.
Right.
On Ryza of all places.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you think the Borg see you? Or the Romulans? Or the Klingons? Or the Dominion? These empires look at the Federation and they see a prize. A prize that we have forgotten how to protect. And if we don't change our ways, they're going to take it from us.
He wants to make the Federation great again.
Exactly. Yeah.
He
And warps for it.
He does.
He is Ron DeSantis on Ryza. Like him fighting what's happening on Ryza is Ron DeSantis fighting Disney.
All right, so
he wants to turn Ryza into Florida.
Make Ryza Florida.
Make Ryza Florida again.
Yeah. So okay. All right. So he's kind of he's got some interesting thing to him, but he's not really a dangerous guy. The most villainous thing he does is mess with a weather control system, and only because Worf
punches
helps
Worf.
him. And
Worf right in the face.
And Worf owns him right back, and he's thwarted very
brave.
fast.
He punched a Klingon. He's just this old dude.
He's a D level villain for me, but like F level.
I vote D.
My vote is F.
I like him as D.
Yeah, he's dangerous if he got enough followers, right? So
exactly, he's a dangerous message,
and he got followers. I mean, dude made it rain on
Worf.
Ryza.
Worf was
He's here with
following him for a bit.
Cybok. He's like a Cybok type almost.
Yep.
Give me your pain. So
be strengthened by the pain, by the sharing.
Guys, what about Legate Damar?
When he was in his prime, he was like almost the most evil Cardassian.
He killed Toraziel.
Yeah, he sure did. For nothing, for betraying her father. She's just running away down the corridor. He's just like what?
Yeah, and then Dukat kind of forgives him for it. Weirdly.
She's like
that's because Dukat is an S tier villain and tries, but he's to his core a villain.
But Damar has redemption and turns kind of good by the end. So how do you evaluate that as a villain? Right? Like, so because when he was really bad, he was bad, but then he kind of he has a whole face turn. And so it's like, I don't know where to put him.
Well, I mean, Gowron's the opposite of that. Gowron was good and went bad. So I wouldn't be so opposed to putting him at the A level.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Leave him at the A?
Yeah, I feel like he was just so bad. Such a villain when he was a villain.
Sure. And he was mostly a villain until the kind of near the end, right?
Yeah.
So,
but like, kind of like lovably a bit of a fuck up. Like he rises to like be the lead of all Cardassians, but like he was stupid enough to like just freely give information to Quark, assuming he would just keep it secret. Like, come on.
Yeah.
He's a Ferengi. At the very least, he'll try and sell that information.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But yeah, so.
Yeah.
A's good, though.
A's good for Damar, I guess. Yeah, all right. We only got a few left.
How about Brunt? Liquidator Brunt.
Liquidator Brunt.
C-A.
You got to start him at an A for me.
I was going to say, I think he just went through the
He's
progression.
S for me because I love him. I love him. He's the best Ferengi villain.
Yeah.
You're
and
going
they all
to see
hate him. Like,
clothed
he's a villain
females
against Zek.
walking
He's a
down the
villain
streets
against
of
Quark.
Ferenginar in broad daylight.
Broad daylight!
Could that woman please put on some clothes? It's disgusting.
Generous humanitarian
No, take off those clothes.
gesture.
Yeah. Is that female talking to me?
May I have your attention, please?
Yeah, this is the one.
Brunt. FCA. As of this moment, no further Ferengi commerce may be conducted in this bar. No Ferengi may be employed by this bar. No Ferengi may eat or drink in this bar. And no Ferengi may do business with that man.
Pretty bad.
Isn't man shorthand for human? Shouldn't he have said with that Ferengi? That always bothered me. Every time I hear that, I love that speech, but that last bit pisses me off every time. Like, why would you call
I
him
think
a man?
that's just the universal translator. It's just translating it to...
I think he's A level, borderline S.
Yep, I'm there. A level, A tier.
All right.
I'm A.
I'm not going to win this one, so.
Because a lot of what he is doing is just his job.
But he's also it's so personal with him and Quark.
Well, he likes doing it.
No, but it's not
his job to go
he's
against
Quark. He's Quark's villain, right? He's Quark's villain.
And the Nagus. He goes against the schemes against the Nagus.
He's that IRS employee that loves taking stuff from people.
Yeah.
Because it makes him feel big.
Yep. Yeah. Good analogy.
Makes him feel like his ears are bigger.
Erwin R. Shyster right there.
Erwin R. There it is. Yep. Money Inc.
Yeah.
Money.
You want me to pick Davan, or do you got somebody in mind?
No, go for it.
We got Ruan Tarka from Star Trek Discovery Season 4. Ashley?
I'm out. I don't know him.
Remember he wanted to get to that other dimension. He wanted to get to that other dimension find his boyfriend or whatever, and he was willing to like commit genocide against an entire race and go against the entire council. And
I'm gonna say C.
Yeah, me too. I think he's a C level. He's dangerous, but also kind of he has you understand his intentions, but and he's sort of not a total villain in a sense.
You sure
but
that's not Volodymyr Zelensky?
And he was he
Pretty sure
was
that's
able
Zelensky.
to like he was able to like corrupt Book a little bit, and so yeah, see.
As played by Canadian actor from Newfoundland, Sean Doyle.
Yeah. I thought it was played by Ukrainian actor Volodymyr Zelensky.
I think he was a terrible character. It was and the fact that like the end to him where it's like, hey, stop, okay, it's oh my god, I
D for Discovery.
But after they chased him for like
D
4
for Discovery?
episodes,
yeah,
like
they literally took a 12-minute story for one episode and stretched it out over 4. It was painful.
painful.
Just
So
I mean,
That's what Discovery's
D for
that's
Discovery.
what Discovery does.
right, it is what they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with
wouldn't-
D for Discovery.
yeah, that's where
They're
I'm at.
so in love with their own bad ideas over that show.
I know.
It's actually a bit icky.
They're like, you hate
It's
this,
not,
Then
but
I
it's
love
not even bad ideas. They get a good
Some of them
idea, and then they just miss the mark.
Run
on
it into the
like,
ground, yeah.
They should go straight with this idea, and they just sort of veer off, and you're like, no, why would you do that? Like, they
Why
have
would
good
you
ideas,
do that?
but they just don't quite get there.
All right, we're leaving Tarka down here in D tier then.
Here we go. Here's a Discovery one that's better. Cole
Cole
House
from
Core.
season 1 of Discovery, from the House of Core.
He was a pretty badass Klingon. He was pretty nasty.
Agreed.
Here's his something, his brother, his cousin, or something. Core, but Cole looks a little. I don't see the family resemblance. Do you guys?
No.
No, but Core's been manipulated by the augment virus.
Oh,
He's
right,
got
of
he
course.
has a disease, so
Yeah, I think Cole might have a disease too, but I'm not sure what it's like.
And
Goblin
I thank
syndrome.
you not to stare.
I think he was a better villain than Vok or even Takuma. I think he was. He's maybe
He's more
B-tier.
villainous than
I go B.
Yeah. He was really good. I really enjoyed him on
He
the
just
show.
wanted to like murder some non-Klingons.
and Klingons. He wasn't afraid.
And Klingons if they were. Yeah, it's true.
He would have been incredible if they had just stuck with the regular Klingon.
Oh yeah.
Like if they
the
hadn't
look.
changed the Klingons, he would have been in an incredible Klingon.
You mean like the visual distraction was very
No,
hard
but not just that, like even just the personality of the Klingons and everything. Like if they had if they had done a more TNG Deep Space Nine Klingon, he would have been awesome.
Memorable.
And they were mostly speaking in Klingon all the time, right? Too when they were on screen.
Yeah.
So that was also kind of they didn't they don't even do that in the Martok episodes with Martok and Worf. They're not like speaking Klingon the whole time. It's just but anyway.
All right, take a pick there, Dave. We're getting down to the final line.
While we're on Discovery, let's talk Lorca.
All right. Well, sir, I liked him better as a captain than a mirror.
Yeah.
I don't like anything Mirror Universe. F.
But he was always the Mirror Universe.
Yeah.
I love
D
Mirror
for
Universe, but
Discovery.
I was so disappointed. I really liked Lorca as a captain, and it was really like it was intriguing to me what they did, but also I was so disappointed.
Right. Well, it turns out he's just pretending to be the guy. There was a real Lorca, I guess, that was a really nice guy that he was pretending to be. So we would have liked him. But the villain Lorca as this mirror universe guy who duped the entire crew and betrayed them all, but that also helped bring them together sort of in season 2. I don't know.
I don't even think this was his best villain portrayal of his career either. Like,
well, he's also in Harry Potter. He was Malfoy and all that, right?
But him in the Patriot, that
the Patriot,
evil villain.
Yeah. Yes, very much.
He's the most evil British redcoat guy you ever saw in that movie. But yeah,
here's why he's a D, because he's better as a hero, just like Core and Kang
Agree.
and Koya.
Yeah, agree.
I put him in C, but he's you know,
Are
he's not
you letting the episodes where he was a good guy cloud your judgment?
No,
'Cause if
more
you just watch the ones where he's a mirror universe like.
No, he's a
caricature.
maniac. He's a psychopath. He's very villainous, and he's killed people. He tortures people.
Yep.
There's that
Yeah,
whole
right.
thing
He's
where
more
like
villainous
we
than
don't even know yet that he is the mirror universe guy, and then this guy's like, "You killed my sister. What was her name?" He's like, "I don't know your sister." Then he like gets the jump on that guy. He's like, "Her name was Mary, and I tortured her." Bye. You know, whatever.
I can live with C.
I put him on par with Commodore O because again, the long game. He shows up,
Yeah.
and figures out the universe, and he plays the game like, mastermind.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, sea level, I think, is where we'll leave Lorca. Okay, we're down to the final row, guys.
Who is this? I just don't know the name, I guess. Who's Sulon from Voyager?
Sulon? Oh, this is that Vidian guy.
That guy. Yeah.
Oh, the Vidian. Oh, the Vidians are creepy, man. As an entity, the Vidians.
This is the only
are
Vidian by name we included. He's the one who
who messes with B'Elanna.
B'Elanna. He splits her into the Klingon and human halves, and then he kills the other guy and steals his face and puts it on. He's like, "Do you like my face now?" And he's just like so evil, so
I'm thinking
creepy.
almost an A tier, man, because like he's sort of in the same like insanity body horror thing like Solaren Prin. Like he's a very scary, visceral villain.
He doesn't take the face because he needs the face. He takes the face because he's hoping that will like endure B'Elanna to him.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
he was going to kill him anyway,
that's
but
he was,
Yeah.
but like the whole reason to put the face on his face is to make B'Elanna like him better. Like
it's specifically
absolutely
Klingon B'Elanna. He was trying to get on it on with when you split her into two, and human B'Elanna survives, right, and just gets made.
They also had a title of the episode to serve.
Yeah. I think he's a bit forgettable. You know, because
The Vidians aren't.
The Vidians aren't, but like we're like, what was his name? And the episode's a bit.
But do they ever
obscure.
say his name? But when we were trying to think of a Vidian, he's the one we both thought of. We're like,
He's the most evil, most villainous Vidian, because the Vidians are kind of victims in a sense, but they're also bad. But he's the most villainous Vidian we ever meet. So I'd say,
at least B,
like those,
but I'd go A.
He's like those Nazi scientists that were experimenting on people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like.
He's very bad. He's very evil, but
Yeah.
I just
Very
think I have a hard time putting him in A because I just think he's kind of a bit he's just not
If they made a two-parter out of that, you'd give him an A.
Then maybe. I think he's one of the better Voyager villains, but I think that even that puts it at a B. I mean, look who we have in B, right? Like
Voyager's not as good as Kashyyyk, so yeah, B's good.
I think he deserved an arc on Voyager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So get all squirrely and be like, you just take the face off.
Yes. How about Ben Finney from the episode Court Martial, who framed Kirk. He was trying to fake his own death, and his daughter was there, and like I don't know. And then Kirk beats him up in the engineering, and basically that's the episode. So,
F
tier.
Doesn't do anything.
He's a really pathetic villain, actually. And
Yeah.
So okay, we're done with Ben Finney.
That was a nice quick one. Right.
Yeah, he really is
I think I've got one more left in this little folder here. So, did we do Adam yet?
No, we haven't touched Adam Soong. From Star Trek Picard season 2.
I was like, I asked Dave if he's actually a villain, and he's like, yeah, he hit Picard with his car.
Remember, he was also going to lead like the humanity in that xenophobic alternate.
But that's in
timeline.
a different alternate. That's in an alternate.
He had potential.
Count.
He had potential to be really bad. Plus, his daughter turns on him at the end, and he's creating the Khan program by the like.
He gives Picard a new body.
Not that one. No, that was the. That's
Alton Inigo Soong.
That's another Soong, and he's not even on this list, but he could have been on this list. And so anyway, I think Adam Soong, D-level villain.
D. Yeah.
And you know he was bad, but
too, he was a stooge to Q.
He was Q's stooge, but then Q was not even trying to be a villain in that season. That whole season can take a hike, as far as I'm concerned. But,
Agreed.
Yeah. Right. Agreed.
I don't even know what the hell was going on. Okay.
Most of that series can. So.
All right.
Yeah, let's just keep season 3.
What's
What
this
it
guy's
always
name?
should have been.
Which guy?
His name is. I'm trying to get to that. Rao Vandika. Rao Vandika from the episode of Deep Space Nine, season 1.
Dave petitioned for this.
Invasive procedures. Yes, only because you don't know this guy's face, because he ends up taking over Bashir's body, and then Bashir kind of plays him, really, or Sidney Alpha-Dale plays him. And,
I love Deep Space Nine, and I completely forgot this guy existed. So F. Like, he must be one of the worst DS9 villains to escape.
Well, it's one of the worst Deep Space Nine episodes.
Yep.
I only vaguely remember that, and I just rewatched season 1 of Deep Space Nine not that long ago.
Are you okay? Are you doing all right?
Hey, I'm a defender.
I actually really like season 1 of Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
Not enough
Season
to know
one
who
Deep
Rao
Space Nine is
Vandika
still
is.
better than any season of most other Star Trek.
But in that episode, they keep talking up, Rao Vandika has done all these evil things. Rao Vandika this, Rao Vandika. And by the end of it, you're like, this Vandika is the most maniacal man you've ever heard of, right? Like, he's so
Now
villainous.
I've forgotten.
Yeah, he's the most forgotten.
Okay. I'm going to go with Cousin Gala.
Cousin Gala. Is he...
He's
okay.
tried to murder his own cousin more than once. He
He-
gave him a
he-
faulty
he,
ship that was going to
he
explode and
kills-
kill Ram as well.
Yeah, he was going to give...
And Nog.
And Nog.
He was going to kill Nog, a child.
And Odo. He didn't know Odo was on the shuttle, but yeah. He did
Odo
try
might
to
have
kill him,
survived that.
but then Quark got over that and then worked with him with Haggoth and did all that stuff. But then he comes back in Magnificent Ferengi, and then he kills Kevin by accident. He was trying to kill Quark. So he's a bad guy and dangerous.
He's a
and
weapons dealer. He's caused the death of millions.
I think he's at least sea level.
At least. He's caused the death of probably millions. Like, Haggoth was selling... Remember the one weapon they were selling to that one guy in that episode? They're like, how many deaths you want? He's like, I don't know, like 30 million. They're like, we can do that.
Oh, yeah.
So he's killed millions of people, Gala. Millions.
He's moving up to B for me.
At least B.
Yeah.
Especially because he's so cold-hearted about it. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we got that. You got the money. I can make that happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's...
And he
he's
tries to kill his own family. I can't see Haggoth, who he was working with, trying to kill his own family.
Yeah. Probably not. Maybe.
Who knows?
But okay.
Maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
Cousin Gala.
crazy.
So we're leaving Cousin Gala at the B level. All right. What about the guy he killed? Kevon, the Vorta from
I really like Kevon.
Kevon was
Good portrayal.
I hate Ferengi. And he's got some great moments as a Vorta.
Yeah, and his dealings with his Jemadar when he's like, look, I am the Vorta. I will take care of you.
I will take care of you. I am the... Yeah. He's so
But how
bad.
he completely sells them out down the river, too, his own men.
Yeah.
In that episode.
Right. Yeah, he sells them out. He's like, I'll go to the prison war camp. And then once Starfleet was done with him, he they're just like, okay, take him, Ferengi,
Yeah.
I got some...
But yeah.
You know, Captain, if I'd had just 2 more vials of white, you never would have had a chance.
That was a great line, too. He just walks out of the smoke of his dead men. And it's just like, if I had 2 more... Oh, man. He's a great villain.
He's a great villain. I think he's A level, maybe.
A?
He's my favorite of the... Other than Wei-Yun of the Vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then he ends up going out by Cousin Gala shooting him. Yeah. Thanks, Kevon.
I am the Vorta. I will take care of you all.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, we got a few more. We got Claudius from Bread and Circuses, the villain, the leader of the Roman people, making them fight on screen.
Yeah.
I like where you just dropped him at D. Like,
Yeah.
That's where he belongs. Okay, we'll move on from him. There's also this other original series one. They're the providers. The providers.
The games masters of Triskelion?
From the Gamesters of Triskelion episode. They were this yellow, red, and green rock thing in a bowl. They were running the things, and Kirk and them, the lady, whoever he's with in the episode, they're fighting against him. I don't know. They were bad seeds, I'd say.
I love this episode
you
as a
rank it?
kid. Like, I love that Lady Gaga was in it. Like, that's super cool.
Hey, Lady Gaga, like that's like her style,
right?
With like those collars and everything else. And Ashley, you got an opinion on the providers?
I think they're kind of good where they are.
You leave them at sea.
Ursula agrees.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Ursula needs to rate the rest of them.
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, there we go. There we go, honey. What do we think of Maj Kala?
Maj Kala.
Her first word.
Sleeping on camera.
He's less than Seska, but he was a good villain.
He easily the best villain of like the first 2 seasons of Voyager, at least. Like he's the one that sticks around the longest.
He's the only Kazon like that had any impact for me.
Basics was really good.
Yeah.
2-parter. I mean, he's sort of just like kind of being manipulated by Seska.
Yeah, he's kind of Seska's stooge, right? So it's kind of I can't put him next to Seska because I think he's less than her.
He's less, yeah.
But he's good. I think I'm happy with the B.
Yeah.
Good performance. I liked him quite a bit.
Yeah, me too. I'm good on Managed Color. Okay, final 3 guys. Okay, I'm going to save this one for the end. Let's start with the Sphere Builder lady from Star Trek Enterprise. She was the leader of the Sphere Builders, season 3.
Manipulation
Enterprise.
through time is interesting.
Yeah, she's
reconstructing an entire
spheres.
Trying to reform the galaxy in their image, kind of thing, so they can survive in it.
She told the reptilians they could take over and have dominance.
Yeah,
they were also called the Providers, weren't they, or the Guardians or something?
They're the Guardians.
Zindi.
Well, I think, and that's kind of where I feel like a C, because I feel like we know the Zindi, stuff. But like I always forget about the Sphere. Like I always forget about them.
Right.
And
they're
her,
the
like,
puppet masters. But...
Yeah, it's like they were actually manipulating him. Oh, that's right. I don't care, kind of.
Ties into all that Daniels stuff and all that. Ensign Daniels. Yeah.
Okay.
He's fine.
Then we got Silic.
Yep. I like Silic a lot, at least a B. He's better than the Sphere Builders.
Yeah.
Great performance, cool design, just good all-around character. Every time
John
I go on him back,
Fleck.
I was like, yeah.
John
Fleck.
also in the pilot for Babylon 5.
Who was he in that?
He was the murderer under the Changeling net. Like that was the Changeling net made him look like. He's the one who killed. Spoilers. Tried to kill Kosh.
Oh, he's that guy.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. I forgot about that. Like Silic for me was good. We just watched the episode, season 4 premiere. It was called Stormfront Part 1 and 2, where like spoilers, they kill off Silic. And it's kind of like sad. I'm like, I would have liked more out of this villain. I think he got left. They tried to make him turn sort of good here at the end.
There was
like
gray area with him. Yeah.
Yep. He could have been. I think there was a lot of potential lost. So I think he's kind of an anti-hero more than a pure villain. He's kind of a stooge to this other guy. We never even get to figure out who he is.
It's the Sphere Builder, wasn't it? Oh, that guy in the future there.
Yeah, it was the
that was the Sphere Builders, wasn't it?
I petitioned for Silic down at sea level.
No, he's way better than the Sphere Builders. Just even on the performance and charm alone of John Fleck.
Okay, I'll go with that.
He carried so much of early Enterprise, like.
Oh yeah. Cool new race too. The Suliban, they're really cool.
All right.
And
final one.
Luther Sloan.
Luther Sloan.
Great villain.
Great villain.
Before they ruined Section 31, and now I don't even want to hear its name. I hate everything they've done with Section 31 since him. So, like, that's back when Section 31 was an awesome idea. So, at least an A.
Yeah.
You have no right to do this, Sloan.
He had that mystery, and like the way he would bounce around, like, and he would be like just mysteriously at this gathering where they're all just talking nice and having hors d'oeuvres. He just walks up and he's like, "Oh, I like entomology." Like, he's very interesting.
One of his great line.
Sorry.
Oh, it says great line. Whether you're a king or a simple street sweeper, sooner or later, everyone dance with the Reaper.
That's what I was able to play.
You might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you dance with the Reaper.
So good. So good.
I love show business.
Yeah, I like Sloan a lot. I think he's A, maybe even S level, but he's probably A because he only has 3 appearances and he dies.
Yeah.
So, but he's very memorable in the role. William Sadler,
And he's still sort of working in the Federation's interest, at least he thinks he is.
Yeah,
So,
he's kind of like an interesting villain, kind of like Kashyyyk, where he doesn't really understand his.
Is he not almost the definition of an anti-hero? His.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He's by any means to accomplish a noble goal, but by any means part is what makes
Right, he's not malicious.
No.
He's not sadistic.
He just does what he's got to do to, I do this so you can sleep at night kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, we need people like you, Doctor. But
Yeah,
people
he's
like
like-
you need people like me.
He's like Colonel Jessup in A Few Good Men, You need me on that wall. You want me on that wall, right? So, all right. Well, that's it, guys. We ranked them all. So just a quick recap here. Up here in S tier, we have Dukat, Weyoun, the female changeling. We got the clown from Voyager, the Fear episode. We got Gulma Dread. We got Nalbert Tain, Solarin Prin, Michael Eddington, Kai Wynn, and Kivas Fajo, and Jodie Simpson, and the cargo container that hit Worf.
Yep.
So
I think we nailed it. I think those are the best villains in Star Trek.
Yeah.
There we go. In the A tier, you got General Chang and Commander Kruge and the Dalam Nazindi and the Duras sisters and Seska and Agamis and Khan and one of the Borg Queens, specifically the third one from season 2 of Picard. We got
There's at
Gowron.
least 4 in A. I would move up to S personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, come on. This was a whole symposium.
I know.
I
lost. That's fine.
We don't want to start getting into that. But we got Tomalak. We got Kashyyyk from the Counterpoint episode. Damar. Brunt.
Remember
Kevon.
how we were tied on Chang, and I was going to be like, Puxley's going to be the tiebreaker? We don't need that. You guys convinced me on Chang. Move him back up to S. You guys.
Chang's going up to S? Okay.
Yep. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
he's better than.
good.
I like him better than Krug.
All right, I'll sign. I love Chang. He's amazing.
Brian Havoc.
And let's slip the Dogs of War. B tier, you got Soren and sorry, I'm forgetting these guys' names now. Help me out here. Anarax and Valeris and that Kazon guy, Majkala, Vatic and Lore and all these guys. I'm trying to list them all off, but slowing down.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's carry on.
If you're watching on screen, just look.
They're right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did good work here. This was. I mean, let's
think
take
so.
Let's take a self-congratulatory moment.
Yeah,
and
let's
just
have a look.
recognize the hard work we did.
Yeah, let's zoom back out here too, and just kind of because it's really quite hard even to get it all on screen at the same time now. All these villains.
How many villains did it end up being? How many did you add?
It ended up being a total of 112 villains here tonight, guys. So that's pretty impressive. Davan, this is definitely our most ambitious project ever, our most ambitious symposium. Jeff, thank you so much and Ashley as well. But you just met us, Jeff, and this was
Tell our listeners about the Starfleet Leadership Academy.
Thank you. Well, first, I just got to thank you for the best 4 hours of my week. This was such a great time. I loved this,
thank you.
having me here. But yeah, Devin, thank you so much. The Starfleet Leadership Academy, you get it wherever you get podcasts, right? Every other week, I release an episode where I watch an episode of Star Trek, and I extract the leadership and management lessons from that and teach that in a pretty fun way. I'm trying to help change the leadership of today to lead to the Star Trek of tomorrow.
That's beautiful. That's kind of like our theses over on Locutors of Trek. We want to examine it so we can make it real.
Yeah, make this thing happen.
Yeah. Yep, let's do it. It's good stuff. Go listen to it. I was laughing my ass off. He's just like, let me repeat. Neelix, the morale officer, believes troop morale is not important. Let me repeat this again. This is like that's pretty condemning of Neelix, I gotta say.
Right? Yeah. Neelix is not my favorite character. I'll say that.
No.
But
for real, thanks for having me
Check
on.
out
Starfleetleadership.academy is the website. There's an actual .academy for websites, which I lost my mind when I found that. That's great.
Interesting. So you're like a legit academy.
That's what the spam email accounts seem to think. So,
sweet. That's pretty funny. You know what your school needs? Number 2 pencils. But yeah. So we're part of a united federation of podcasts.
That's right.
We are, where we have, of course, our wonderful many Trek shows. We even have a Geek Tall challenge every now and then. And we have many divisions there. Lots of stuff. Check it out. Radio theaters, debates, trivia. We got a trivia coming up soon, don't we, Ashley? A trouble with trivia.
Yes, next week.
3 new contenders to hopefully take down the dreaded Dave Mater.
I'm almost.
You may try.
Yeah.
Almost done with the trivia. I don't. It's hard because I don't know these contestants. I don't know how hard to make it. So.
Same as always. We're looking for a challenge for Dave. We're looking for a challenge, and I told them that. Like, I told Murphy to go out and get contestants. I'm like, make sure they're confident in Star Trek trivia, or there's no point.
All right, I'll make them hard.
Yep, do it. They're awesomely hard. I love that trivia.
Come ready for battle.
It's hard not to cast myself in everyone. There's X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Review Show. Check us out on Tuesday. We'll have a live interview with the voice of Nightcrawler, Adrian Huff. We're looking forward to that. And my co-host on that has the Graphic Histories podcast. And, oh my God, I just read his next guest's name and I've already forgotten it. But great artist. Check it out. There's also Hold Up a Movie podcast. Jeff Mader's going to be on
his
Wednesday.
birthday today.
We're talking time travel movies. I just watched Sphere today. It is his birthday. Happy birthday, Jeff. And we also have Super Mader Brothers podcast, of course. They review reality shows. Who knows? Jaemeel might be over there doing that right now. You never know. He's often over there.
No, there's no Big Brother tonight, so don't.
No, none tonight, eh? Okay, well, there's also Aiming on Track we have. I don't know what the next one of that's going to be to you, Dave.
We're talking about doing the Elvis 1973 Aloha from Hawaii concert album. So that's we're talking about that next.
Okay, and then we have the Hellbound podcast with Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan. Still on hiatus. Check out Trivial Debates. I don't know if Murphy's going to get contestants for that one.
He'll get it,
the deck.
One way or the other.
And of course, on here in our wonderful Trek network, we have an interview coming up with the writer of the autobiography of Benjamin Sisko, Derek Tyler Attico. I'm looking forward to that book. I got my hard copy on pre-order. I'll tell you that much. It'll be here in October. So,
can I get Andrew Robinson to read it for me? That would be
No, I want freaking Avery Brooks to read that one. It's the autobiography of Ben.
Sure, it makes more sense if Avery Brooks came in. Yeah,
that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm already petitioning for that. Apparently, he did an audiobook like 10 years ago or something like that. So,
oh yeah,
there's potential. Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. That's our entire federation. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. And live long and podcast.
Thanks so much. Have a good one. Thanks for staying with us.